to you from wherever you are joining us. This is Mayegun Live. So thank you so much for joining me. And to those of you who are newbies, like, the people who newly joined the platform, somehow you probably have some concerns for the long opening music, right? Okay. So don't get mad, okay? The reason for that is this. Mayegun's Diary Political is an interactive, platform whereby the program itself stretches to 3 hours. So the music itself, the music actually have their own messages in them if you listen, whether in Yoruba or in a Pidgin, right? So it is also a process of waiting on those who are just going to be joining us rather than spend about 5 minutes, like miss 5 minutes of the program. So the music is to remind them that now Mayegun is live. Do you want to join now? Like put them on notice and then they won't miss anything. So if you are watching a replay on Mayegun's Diary Political and you don't like this long music, all you have to do is to skip it. You can skip it. And I encourage many of you watching Mayegun on Facebook to try and join that YouTube. I have received several messages from Facebook that live videos, live broadcast on Facebook, the recorded video there will be deleted. I think it's going to be in June. So therefore, some of the Mayegun's Diary Political video on Facebook would be gone, but I still have every copy though, right? So on YouTube means you won't miss anything, at least for now, okay? So thank you so much for joining me. Take a moment and read beyond the caption of this broadcast, okay? Read the description of the broadcast as well. Then like it. Then share it. To invite your friends and invite your not so friendly friends and tell them all that Mayegun is live. Join us. Just about a week ago, right, the news broke of this young man, right? His name is now 17, So his name is Quadri Alabi Yusuf, the young man that came to limelight 2 years ago. This was just a few days before your 2023 charade, when he appeared right in front of Peter Obi's Convoy in Lagos. He attracted, the kind of like the interest of the obedient at the time, who decided to kind of like help him. So people raised funds. It was asked, what was he doing at the time? I think he said, if I remember very well, it was learning learning handiwork, or he would want to go back to school. Now, cut the long story short, a week ago, right, the news broke that he has been in detention, in prison, right, for months on the allegation or on the crime of armed robbery. Now, that shook everyone, like, how? Then the story became more pathetic when we realized that, you see, that fame of the 2023, obedience movement at the time, right, became his own greatest undoing, or his albatross. I mean, the community where himself and his family lives, right, became hostile to them. And it's like they've been hostile to them enough that the family themselves, right, they were aware, but they didn't know that they would go to this extreme whereby even the head of the community, the Baale in Lagos, right? So they said the Baale called the mom, right, advised her that the area boys, that means the touts in the area, they were angry simply because they felt like all the gifts, all the money given to Quadri by, the kind-hearted Nigerians at the time, that they didn't share it with the community. And when they say community, they are not talking about the whole community. They are talking about the community of these thugs, area boys, they are called. So, a few months back, and I'm talking about, late last year, Kudus was said to be coming back from work, right? When two of these touts grabbed him, okay? And right away, they handed him over to the police on the allegation that some people who disrupted the area earlier that day, right? That he was one of them. And police took him from them. And by the time police would present him to a judge or so, they actually presented him in a group of 4 with other 3 men, older men that he's never met in his life. And then the allegation is armed robbery. So the judge in Lagos remanded him. And that was when, it was one of the time that all these charity groups goes for prison, kind of like, is it prison outreach, that they came about his story. And there he was. Quadri, that famous boy, how did you get here? What happened? So he told his story. Enough that the visiting, charity, one of them had to kind of like share it on social media. And right there and then, if I can remember very well, if some of you probably did see or witness it, because he's associated with Peter Obi, the Ronukus immediately, okay, hang on, I think it was when his story broke. Then I remember that Peter Obi asked this barrister, Idebe Effiong, to pick up the case and find out what really happened, what is going on, and secure his bail if he is indeed innocent. Of course, he is innocent, right? As in the whole conspiracy around the everything. So I think it was when Peter Obi tweeted about it that got the attention of the Agbadorians, the Ronukus. And guess what? Kudus Yusuf Alabi is a Yoruba boy, right? From Oyo State, living with a single mom in Lagos. And to the Ronukus, if you can remember, if you can read, kind of like remember vividly, everything that does not align with Tifnumbu, right, is considered an abomination. And no matter the injustice, they don't care. They can fly the flag of stigmatization and all that, and they are so horrible enough that they do not even have any iota of human feeling. This little boy is a child subjected to this kind of compromised, corrupt system. He appeared before the police. They built a case against the boy, a substanceless, baseless case against a boy. I don't know how the conspiracy runs, so I don't know how deep it runs. Or social media, the same social media that your Satan of Sokoto is demanding should be classified as a terrorist organization, brought it to the attention of the world again. And of course, that was when the DPP, Department of Public Prosecution or something, in Lagos State, became aware that, oh, there is a boy in prison, wrongly imprisoned boy. Now, the long story short, right? About a week after today, right? Yusuf Quadri Alabi was not granted, it was acquitted of all charges, right? Because the DPP themselves have seen the ridiculousness, it's called ridiculousness of this, all right? So, and they withdrew their case. That there's no case. Lagos State is not, so therefore police should withdraw theirs. And then the judge, finally, right, is able to do the right thing. Another judge, of course, which then acquitted the young boy of any wrongdoing. Now, you see, this story is into two bases, okay? So the first one is whenever you are looking for the textbook like real life example of how a rotten system, bad governance, makes every one of us victims, right? We are all victims. And it depends, right, on the time, but everybody is like going to get a share of it in a different way, okay? Including children that have been advocating for that. When you look at the poverty index, I've been a poverty statistic, original one, right? You'll get to see that this demography is populated by children. When you look at the insecurity, areas where Fulani terrorists, Boko Haram, or ISWAP, or name it, right, where they have unleashed their violence on innocent people, children, women, children, especially children, have been countless, or should I say uncountable victims in that contraption. But the second phase is what this experience will mean to a young boy. You know, like, you're so young. You never asked anybody to kind of like consummate you or give birth to you. You're so young, and the society is so hostile, right? That you are, I mean, this is the story of millions of young people in Nigeria. You're so young, so innocent, but you just have to go so fast because the society has no plan for you. It's so hostile that it becomes the struggle, the survival of the fittest at a very young, innocent age. Many of us passed through that, they'll say, but not many of us were arrested and locked up for armed robbery when you did not commit any crime. Not many of us experienced that when we were 17 or when we were 16. So the police had to forge their own documents in order to be able to present him for armed robbery that he didn't commit, right? They changed his age from 17 to 18. So this experience, the PTSD of this, will live with this young boy for the rest of his life. And guess what? There are millions of this Quadri who are being served the same or even worse fate by a rotten system that these rogues are foisting on us. So we're going to go to that court and give Inebe his flowers, you know, because this whole thing started a week ago. And today, Quadri is not just free. He is now about to sue the Nigerian police of 100 million naira in damages plus public apology. So it's like the real case is just about to start, right? Inebe, I'm gonna, yeah, that's it.
I can confirm to you that at exactly 2:30 p.m., Mr. Alabi Yusuf Quadri, or Quadri Yusuf, was physically handed over to me by the authorities of the Nigerian Correctional Service. Recall that about 3 hours ago, the court discharged him following the advice of the Director of Public Prosecutions, Lagos State, where the DPP found that Quadri Alabi has no case to answer, that the allegation of armed robbery brought and made by the police is without substance, without evidence, and that he was innocent. However, as you may be aware, when a court makes an order discharging a person, there is an administrative process that has to follow, which is basically for the signing, the preparation and signing of his release warrant. Until that warrant is physically handed over to the correctional officer, it cannot be physically released. So now the warrant was signed and handed over, and Quadri is now free and is going home and is no longer returning to the medium security custodial center. Let me thank all Nigerians and the media for the interest they have shown in the case of this boy. Like I keep saying, you may not understand Quadri's case until you have met Quadri. Those of you that have now seen him, you don't need to have power of clairvoyance. You don't need to be a prophet to look at this boy, maybe by looking at him, to know that, to have reason to question the allegation made against him. So for the fact that a Nigerian child was subjected to this horrendous treatment since January, incarcerated without cause, is unacceptable. Now that he has been released, we have grave concerns about his safety and that of his family. As I speak to you, it is not safe for him or his mother, who is standing beside me, to return to their home. So as I speak, Quadri is basically homeless because their current home is not safe for them. There are reasons why I'm saying that. Apart from the fact that you are all aware of the circumstances that led to him being abducted, he was not arrested. Quadri was abducted by so-called area boys. So, handed over to the police. The same people behind his travels, they have not left Nigeria, they have not left Lagos, they are still within that community. So it is only common sense that his family should be relocated somewhere else. So we'll be appealing to Nigerians of good conscience. Please extend a hand of help to this family, and Quadri in particular. The most pressing need is for us to get an alternative accommodation for them, get them accommodation elsewhere, where his family can stay. They don't have the means. You can see it yourself. The second need is that even though he became momentarily famous during the elections, quite sadly, that fame, was not, the benefit of that fame was not sustained. So he basically went back to the streets doing petty things. So currently, he needs some stable form of employment. He has started learning tailoring. I don't know whether he would want to continue with that, but the point is that Quadri needs some form of rehabilitation that will enable him to be self-sufficient and useful to the country. So we are appealing to any spirited member of the public out there that may want to assist him beyond just the accommodation. Please reach out to me. We'll be able to bring that help to his family. And then lastly, I want to restate for emphasis, and I say this without apology, and I'm ready to say this before anybody in this country. I'm ready to say this before anybody. The divisional police officer of Amoguko divisional headquarters has to be removed. If the commissioner of police does not sanction him, along with the other officers who took part in this act of evil, what the commissioner of police Lagos will be telling Nigerians and the whole world is that the Lagos police now connive with criminal elements to abduct children and falsely frame them for armed robbery. So if the Lagos Police Command has no hand in this travesty, this abomination that has been done, if the IG does not consent to what has been done to Quadri, we want to see an immediate action taken against the officers who were behind it. We are not going to withdraw this demand. And as I have said, the police must also compensate him, and we are demanding for 100 million. Our last demand is public apology. If these demands are not made, we don't bluff. If these demands are not made within 14 days, I can confirm to you that I will be approaching the court. I will also be going directly to the Police Service Commission. One message we want to pass clearly is that Quadri's case is not an isolated case. We are all discussing Quadri today because his case has come to public knowledge. So Nigerians should ask the DPO of Amokoko, how many more Nigerians does he falsely frame for armed robbery? How many more Nigerians does he falsely frame for murder? How many more people have they thrown false allegation on and have them remanded in prison?